Whiskey-shaped nations. Its origin story divides Ireland and Scotland.
Every dram carries place, oak, and centuries of human choice.
Stay until the end. Numbers and origins will surprise you. Aerial of peat smoke rising over coastal malting floors at dawn.
Origins, where and when whiskey first appeared. Ireland records aqua vitae in 1405, Scotia in 1494 documents.
Monks distilled medicinal spirits, later refined into drinking whiskey.
Name whiskey comes from Gaelic uisce beatha, water of life. By the 16th century, distillation spread widely across Britain and Ireland.
Grains and mash, barley, corn, rye and wheat origins.
Barley dominates Scotch and Irish mash. Corn fuels many American bourbons. Rye imparts spice. Wheat softens texture in some whiskey styles. Mash bills, malting and milling set the stage before fermentation begins. Malting and mashing, smoke, peat, and germination choices.
Peat-smoked barley gives phenolics and coastal smoke to many malts.
Floor malting and modern kilns produce different dryness and character.
Mash temperature and enzyme timing control fermentable sugar profiles.
Yeast choices transform sugar into alcohol and early congeners flavor. Fermentation and spiriting, from wash to low wines. Wash fermentation length influences ester development and mouthfeel significantly.
Pot stills and column stills create distinct textures and purification levels.
Pot still distillation concentrates flavor. Continuous columns prioritize efficiency. Low wines and spirit cuts decide which congeners reach the cask. Aging and oak, where years change grain to whiskey. Oak casks add vanilla, tannin, and slow oxidation to the spirit. The char level, the previous contents of the cask, and the ambient climate all combine to shape the final flavors within. Scotch matures in cool cellars. Warmer warehouses accelerate maturation. Angel's share reduces volume but concentrates aroma and mouthfeel intensity. Styles: Scotch, Irish, bourbon, rye, Japanese, and more. Single malt shows single distillery character. Blends aim at balance. Irish whiskey often triple distilled for smoothness and lighter texture.
Bourbon requires at least 51% corn and new charred oak casks. Rye whiskey emphasizes spice and dryness in classic American styles. Japanese whiskey blends Scotch technique with local precision and nuance.
Regions and trajectory, where styles and reputations grew. Scotland's regions, Islay, Speyside, Highlands, each speak unique smoke. Ireland favoured triple distillation and pot still character historically.
Kentucky's limestone water and climate shaped bourbon's ripe profile.
Japan refined blending and precision to become a global force recently.
Other countries like India and Taiwan now produce internationally acclaimed whiskey.
Scale and numbers, modern production and market figures.
Scotch exports equaled 1.35 billion 70cl bottles in 2023.
That equates to roughly 945 million litres exported in 2023 alone.
India ranks as the largest Scotch market by volume in recent years.
United States distillation volumes reached hundreds of millions litres.
Over 2,000 distilleries operate across the United States, and growing.
Tasting and service, how to approach whiskey properly.
Glass shape, slight dilution, and temperature reveal layered aroma notes.
Swirl, sniff, sip, and rest. Evaluate body, finish, and balance. Each shows purity. Water opens aroma without killing subtlety quickly.
Food pairings range from smoked meats to chocolate and sharp cheeses.
Blending and finishing, marrying barrels and creating house style.
Master blenders harmonize casks to reach consistent flavor across batches.
Finish casks add tertiary flavors and complexity.
Small batch and single cask releases highlight unique barrel selection choices.
Culture and ritual. Whiskey in bars, rites, and life.
Pubs and dram sharing anchor social rituals across many cultures globally.
Whiskey tasting clubs and festivals build community and education concurrently.
Collecting rare bottles became a prestige and investment-driven pastime. Challenges, climate, resources, and regulation shape futures.
Heat and humidity affect maturation rates and cask selection outcomes.
Water scarcity and grain supply can limit expansion and raise costs.
Regulatory changes and taxation alter whiskey markets rapidly in regions.
Innovation, new casks, finishes, and sustainable practice.
Alternative cask types and faster finishing experiments multiply flavor options. Reuse of casks and barrel management reduce waste and cost pressures.
Sustainable malting and renewable energy reduce production carbon footprints.
Economics, jobs, tourism, and global value chains. Distilleries generate tourism, hospitality, and local jobs, increasingly vital. Whiskey tourism, tours and tastings, drives rural economies and brand loyalty.
Secondary markets trade rare bottles at premium valuations.
Pairing cases, culinary matches that elevate whiskey.
Smoky Islay pairs with blue cheese. Bourbon complements sweet barbecue.
Irish whiskey flatters seafood and lighter poultry dishes elegantly.
Japanese whiskey highlights umami dishes and subtle seafood preparations.
health and responsibility, moderation and guidelines.
Whiskey contains alcohol. Moderation and local legal limits matter always.
Responsible serving, portion control, and labeling reduce public harms. Final payoff: why whiskey matters across cultures today.
Whiskey condenses time, place, and craft into a single poured glass.